How's he getting on at Hereford?
He's doing very well. You know, we keep, obviously they still train with us anyway. So we talk to them all the time about how they're doing and are they comfortable there, etc., etc. And he's doing very well. We get the odd video, the odd YouTube clip of his goals because he scored quite a few goals. And it's credit to the academy side of it really, and Russ, because he came through the B-Tech course, didn't he, as opposed to through the academy itself. So it just shows that the B-Tech course can, you know, produce players as well. Is that the cheap seats over there?
Yeah. I've worked out that with the players that you've got in the squad at the moment, the ones out on loan and a couple of injured ones, you've got about 30 players in all. Are you going to have? Are you going to have to thin that out in January? Are people going to have to move out of the squad permanently in January to thin that out?
We're assessing it now. You have to assess it come January. We're in a little bit of a predicament in our decision making at the moment for the simple reason we know as a club this is a really important year for us to get the promotion quickly straight away. So the lads that are on those yearly contracts, the new ones, they know that there was no real. We can't negotiate in January, because we don't know where we're going to be. You can't negotiate with saying you're not. So they're all sort of okay with that. But if everyone comes back from their loans because they get sent back or whatever, then financially we'll be well over the budget, because it's the loan situations that's keeping us in budget, really.
How's Elliot doing? Is he likely to be playing anytime soon?
Yeah, well, funny enough, we had a practice game today. It was Elliot's first time on a full-size pitch, and he'd done well in training. He's probably been training for 6 weeks now, isn't it? Something like that, it's got to be. And he looks good, but you never can tell till they get on that full-size 11, 11v11 played against the youth team. The lads that needed the game, a couple of trialists, and obviously Ryan was in as well today. So. Elliot was, it was unfortunately because he'd done fitness test in the morning as well, so with Jordan, but no, he acquitted himself well.
But have you changed the actual fitness training very much from last season?
We've got a fantastic physio who also does all that sort of stuff as well, fitness work, the fitness coach, and so really we've given him his head a little bit much more than he had last year.
The big thing is the attitude of the players, professionalism of the players and the lads away from here as well as here, you know, when they're out of our eyesight and range, what are they doing? And I think this group are generally, you know, bang on with it really. We questioned last year's lot quite a lot.
And I mean, if you saw them last year, because there'd been so much in the car, me and Russ would see them all running out like that. And Russ was actually in the driving position. It was unbelievable. So we had to change that, and we had to change it. We got most of them local, thanks to the chairman, because he's put a few up.
After two, wasn't it?
Huh?
After two.
Well,
7,
he's done well. But that's helped with the camaraderie as well. So we're hoping, to answer your question, we're hoping to keep Dylan. He's here till January. Charlton have got 3 other goalies, so he's like the 4th goalie. And every week we look at the papers or the website to make sure that the other goalies haven't got injured. Because he would be disappointed, he would, if he had to go back for anything else other than to play in the first team. And there's 2 or 3 ahead of him. So fingers crossed. I really hope that we can keep him. He's been a real good person as well as player.
He's exceeded our expectations, yeah. What we thought. And he'd be desperate to stay. I think if Cheltenham called him back for whatever reason, he'd make a great case for trying to stay here, because he's, he's right into it.
Yeah.
But 2 players that worry me, what would happen if we lost them through suspension or through injury. And one of them's Downs and the other one is Munns. And I just wonder, what do you have in your mind how you'd cope with either of those scenarios?
Tell him, don't get booked.
Well, Downsy, unfortunately, does tend to pick up the booking, doesn't he?
He does, yeah, he does. Well, from my own point of view, Russell had his ideas. We have sort of half spoke about it and half thought about it. My brother, who does all our scouting, we do have players that we think we can bring in short notice if we needed to. But, for instance, if Downsy got suspended, if he got another booking, he's suspended for one game. Do you bring in somebody for one game and leave Downsy out? You know, you can't. So what you'd have to do is you'd have to make sure that your squad has got in it players that can play and cover that position. And I think we have, actually. I think if Downsy did suddenly struggle, we've still got leaders there. Stores, Pelly, Pars, they're leaders. But Dickie's a centre half, really. You know, so we could easily go with a 4 at the back. You know, we've been going 3, sometimes 4. So we would probably play with two centre halves, I would have thought, and that would be Dickie and Pars. If we didn't get somebody in, we actually would like to add a centre back to our squad, and we are looking for that. So,
Gentleman there, I did ask about the new signing, and he didn't get around to answering the question. So, yeah.
Just to tell us about the new guy you signed today, what you've got on him, and
yeah,
where he's coming from.
Well, I advertised him as a scouser, and then he told me he was a mank. It's like telling me I'm a comic. He came recommended to us. He was sub for Wigan the other night when they won 4-0. Again, Wigan's another club I've used young players on loan, and I just felt they asked me to have a look at him, which I did, and he came in this morning, and you could see he's got that little bit of cleverness about him. He's quick, he's quite strong. He's been playing under 21s football, and you have to snap them out of that. You know, you really do have to get them running as opposed to walking. You know, it's like, do you still play walking football? But he's so he came in today. Obviously, he signed today. Ryan Jennings is a winger who, if we needed, is a player that can open up defences.
How good or capable of the squad do you think of actually doing it? Because I know obviously football fans always get excited, but I think we all can say here we're all excited, and we seriously, you know, even the most pessimistic fan surely cannot see us at least reaching the playoffs. At least how does it compare?
I think what you need to know, and I promise you this, is you've got a staff and you've got a football team that want to do well for this football club. That's really what it's all about, because what you have when you don't get a promotion group, that group are only worried about themselves. You know, they just want to play the odd game and hope that another club's watching them in the stands, and they're playing their own game. We've managed to get this group together by hook or by crook, that are absolutely playing for the club and for their teammates. We call it teammates you can rely on. What I was going to say was, what you see is when the boys celebrate, they genuinely mean it. You know, they're all celebrating together. And as Russ said, you know, you had Dickie who's miles away with the celebration, but he will still run 50 yards just to shake somebody's hand. You know what I mean? And be part of that group. And if you look back at, you know, we had a bit of a laugh today watching the video at Billy and Munsey when they celebrated. It was unbelievable, wasn't it? It wasn't loving. And in fact, when we scored the second goal in the corner,
Dickie scored.
Dickie scored in the corner. Well, Billy, instead of running to
the right,
Dickie to the right, he ran to Munsey. We were a little bit worried about it.